This video is about the cutting technique. For the purposes of this demonstration, I will leave only the cut technique enabled. Now, anything that we create is said to be a cut object. For example, I will create a polygon, and as you can see, it is said to be a cut object. The same applies to this ellipse. I will set a different outline color for each object to be able to separate them. Using the Object Properties option, you can adjust the cutting options manually or by using the cutter presets. The options apply only to the selected object. Using the presets, you can select an object to be, for example, vinyl, and the other one to be fabric. The cutting options are set according to the material that is to be cut. Now that we have created a design, we can easily send it to the cutter. So let's export to cutter. Select the type of your cutter from the list. As you can see, there are various cutters available on the list. I will select Artistic Edge Cutter. At this point, we are connected to the cutter. We can see the design objects and select which ones are to be cut. We can cut this one or this one. For each object, we can see the defined cutting preset information. Using these arrows, you can move the head of the cutter. This helps us place the head of the cutter right above the part that we want to cut. First of all, we need to place the material to be cut onto the cutting mat. For example, I will cut the polygon, so I place the fabric part onto the cutting mat. Using these plus signs, you select where the starting point will be according to the position of the cutter head. I will select the left upper origin. Using the arrows, I will move the head of the cutter to the upper part of the fabric that I have placed onto the cutting mat. I can add extra pressure or speed if necessary. I can also select to cut a frame around the design. Sometimes it's a good idea to do a test beforehand, especially if you want to cut a material that you've never used before. In that case, you can choose Test and select a material from the list closer to the one placed onto the cutting mat. As soon as you press Test, the cutter will run a test cut so that you see if this is as expected. If everything is okay, close and proceed. If not, adjust speed, pressure or passes and try once more until you are happy with the output. Then press Apply and you return to the cutter dialog. You can also perform a trace operation to see what area will be covered. The design will be sent to the cutter and the head will move around in order to visually make sure that the design fits. If you press Cut, the actual operation begins. If you select multiple objects to be cut, the cutter will stop in between for you to place the material for the next object. In the same way, you can use the cutter to combine other techniques such as paint. A nice example of such combination is print and cut functionality, which is presented in a following video.